Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text and we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. This is for the 6th Sunday after Epiphany, and we're looking at the gospel lesson, we're looking at the second lesson, 1 Corinthians, before this, I had like this entry that was an entry point video that was so bizarre, so weird. I was going to leave it, and then I got interrupted, and lucky for you guys, I had to start over because it was bizarre. But it got me thinking about that. Just like I had a hard time getting that all set up, these are hard texts for a children's sermon. We're talking about divorce, we're talking about, stuff that affects all of us, but to do a children's sermon and how do we talk about it and all these things. And so the direction I'm going, it has to do with something I heard about around the Women's March in Washington, or actually global, and about all the things that are going on in the country, politics and all that. Don't worry, I'm not going, I hate to say I'm not going political because Jesus always gets us in that way when we love our neighbors as ourselves. That ends up doing that. But, stay with me here. There's a phrase that I heard that someone said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. That it's like when we do some of these acts, we need to remember that we follow up with another act and another act and another act. And this is a marathon and not a sprint. And it got me thinking about what it's like in our Christian life. That it's not just we do something one day and then that's it. That it's a day in, day out, day in, day out, day in. And we're going to fall sometimes, we're going to stumble sometimes, but God's grace picks us up, and then we can move on again, and we can live again. We step on. It's a day in and day out, and sometimes this growth is slow, and sometimes it's when we can. One of the things we could do is talk to the kids about waiting for their birthday. And it's like for me, it's like I blink my eyes and I'm another year older. But I remember when I was 5, when I was 4, when I was waiting for something really important, like my birthday, and it seemed to take forever. And it was one day after another. Is it my birthday yet? Why is it always a year after? Things like that. But we're waiting, and these are important things. So the item I'm actually using for the children's sermon is a calendar that we mark down each day. I've got a friend that when he's counting the days, when the day is gone, like we're on, I could open it up and move to February, but all of January would be X'd out because we're already through January. I feel that way, but for a kid waiting for his birthday, it would take forever. But it's slow and steady, and that each day as we move on, we pay attention, and God moves us into this world, and we look at we look at who we are and what God wants of us. It's a marathon. A marathon's a long time of running, where a sprint is fast and you're over. But this idea that God calls us into this life where this is who we are, and we're moving into this. And so a calendar is one of the things that I was going to use. The other item that my Dollar Tree didn't have this time, and they usually always have it, but they didn't this time, and yours might have it, or you might have one hanging around. But I really don't think you might just have one hanging around, but if you do, great. It's those, I've seen them as growing lizards, but they can be snakes, they can be different animals, but they're small, and you put them in water, and they expand. Now, I remember when I was a kid, and the first time I got something like that, I expected it to grow fast, that you put it in the water, and there it was. But it didn't. That's not how it happened. My kids, the same thing. They they fill up the sink, and they put the thing in there, and they wait and they watch, and they've got to come back like 5 hours later and to see that it's grown. that it's slow and it's steady, but the growth happens. And this God of ours that works with us and walks with us, that the growth of us as we're either moving up like this way or expanding our hearts, that sometimes, and most of the times, that's a slow and steady growth, but it is growth, and it's God walking with us, and it's God that's faithful to us. Anyway, that's where I'm going. I'm using the calendar and using about when we wait and we watch and slow and steady, but our God is faithful and always walking with us. So there we go. I hope it can be some useful, thankful thinking in your children's sermon, a springboard for your own thinking. So thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a fantastic week.